Hello, my name is Dr. Frederick Deere, and welcome to the Dr. Deere Show. And before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and click the little bell so that you'll get notifications when I upload a new video. Today's topic for the show is tips for black church safety, white teenagers, and racism. And I hate to have to even talk about racism and this subject, but we all know that it's here and it's not going anywhere, and it's always been here. So the story that I'm going to share, it took place in Gainesville, Georgia, and there was a white female, a 16-year-old, who wrote out a plan in her notebook to attack a historical black church there in Gainesville, Georgia. And fortunately, some of the students saw this plan in her notebook and reported it to the school administrators, and the school administrators then reported it to law enforcement. Excellent job for that Gainesville community for stopping this plan. And so when I heard this story, I instantly thought of Dylan Roof, who murdered the 9 church members of the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina in summer 2015. And so as a therapist, when I hear someone wrote out a plan, I instantly think the way we were trained to identify suicide. And the way we were trained to identify suicide is that if someone is just saying they're going to commit suicide, they're probably not. They're just trying to get attention. But if they write out a plan, then most likely they are going to take that action and act out that plan. And this 16-year-old, she was acting out her plan because the pastor, her name was Pastor Michelle Razor Poole, actually said this 16-year-old visited the church a week prior, I think it was a Wednesday night, for their services. And so when she heard this story, she was a little taken back, like, okay, this is strange. So that led me to this topic of this show today, tips for black church safety, white teenagers, and racism. So we know historically black churches have always been the target of racist acts. There's been bombings, there's been shootings, and so even in my growing up in a black church, we had a man when I think I was 5 or 4, I don't remember the age, but our church, a gunman broke into our church while services were going on. And fortunately, he just said, I mean you no harm, and then just ran out and left us safe. And so my point is, black churches are vulnerable in their time of worship. And I kind of did research. Part of my research for my dissertation was the black church. And the black church has historically been a place for African Americans or blacks to go in and relieve the stress of the week, to pray to a higher being, and the church has always been a sanctuary for the black community, providing food to the hungry, shelter to the homeless, things like that. So my thing is, with the racist person, you have no, it's just I don't understand. And so I wanted to define racism for myself, or a racist for myself. And to me, I wrote this down. A racist person is a person who has a kindergarten age level of thinking when it comes to people that are different. If someone is different, I don't like you, and so I want to attack you. And so that is, if you're racist out there, my thing to you is, if you don't like black people, or you don't like Chinese people, or Latin people, if you just don't like them, stay away from people. If you're racist, stay away. That's your thing. I don't want you around me, and I don't want to be around you. And so the reason I made this, though, is for the black churches, because we are vulnerable when we are at church, because I think we feel like we're safe. This space is for us to pray and worship and love on each other, and but we have to be aware, because the church has always been under attack, and it's currently been under attack It just happened a few weeks ago at New Birth here in Atlanta, where these guys came in and they had on hoodies, and I think the ushers asked them to remove their hoodies, and instead of doing that peacefully, they sprayed pepper spray on in the church, causing people to have to run out and go to the hospital and get treatment. But point to say, and I don't think that was a racist act. I think that was just some teenagers being silly or stupid. But anyway, point here is that black churches, we need to protect our black churches and our black community and our black, pastors and all of that. So I wanted to provide just some few tips. So if your church does not currently have a security plan in place, please talk to your pastor about security measures that need to, that's my first tip, security process that needs to be put into church. That means if, which is going to lead to my second step, hire a security guard, maybe an off-duty officer to patrol the services and patrol the church ground while churches are in service. Because everybody can't be so caught up in the spirit and praying that nobody's paying attention of who's coming into the church. We have to be logical. We are in the world. I know church is always like, oh, just pray and just God will protect us, and but we have to. I always go, faith without works is dead. Yeah, we can have faith, but we need to put some work. So we need to put some action into protecting the church. And to me, hire a security guard, hire an off-duty officer to patrol the grounds for that. Churches usually last like an hour, if that, and get that into play. So that's the first tip. Second tip, sorry. And then, pastors, please discuss the current happenings with these churches, with your church members. Get the dialogue going. Get them to put a plan in action for them to act. Say, for instance, if you see something strange, report it to that officer, or report it to a deacon, or report it. Whatever process that you want to put into place, it needs to be done. Because it's real out here. Racism is real. I always say that about mental health. Illness is real. Racism is real. And then also, talk to your students. And this is for everybody. Talk to your children. Talk to them if you see something. Thank God the Gainesville students, I applaud them again that they took action. They saw this and they reported it, and now this girl is in custody. And I always say racism is a taught thing. We are not born racist. Excuse me, I think people are taught racism. And so hopefully one day we will erase-ism, that term that I see going around. Hopefully one day it will be erased, but right now it's not. And so we have to do our due diligence in protecting ourselves and our community and our churches. And so again, thank you for watching the Dr. Dare Show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, and hit that little bell on the bottom, and I'll see you the next episode.